Somewhere in the world right now, someone is tapping their foot to a beat without realizing it. Someone is humming a song in the shower. Someone is bouncing a baby to calm it down. Someone is marching in step with a stranger they've never met. Music does something to us that no other sound does. It gets inside. It synchronizes us. It makes strangers move together. And here's the question that researchers have been asking for decades. Why? Not why do we like music? Why did it start? What was happening tens of thousands of years ago that made rhythm and melody not just pleasant, but necessary? The evidence suggests the answer has almost nothing to do with entertainment, and everything to do with survival. The place is a cave in what is now Slovenia. The time is approximately 60,000 years ago. A Neanderthal, not Homo sapiens but our close cousin, the species we so often dismiss as primitive, is holding a bone. The bone comes from the left thigh bone of a young cave bear. Someone has pierced it, carefully, with a pointed stone tool. Not once. 4 times. The holes are evenly spaced. They are not accidental. Researchers have confirmed this through repeated analysis and acoustic testing. The position and size of the holes correspond to a recognizable musical scale. This object is known today as the Divje Babe flute. It is the oldest known musical instrument ever found, and it was made by Neanderthals. When researchers created replicas and played them, the sound that came out was not crude or primitive. It was musical. Recognizably, hauntingly musical, capable of melody, capable of variation, capable of the kind of sound that stops you and makes you listen. We do not know what that Neanderthal played. We do not know if it was for ritual or for comfort or to call someone home. We do not know if others gathered and listened or if it was a private thing made in solitude in a cave by firelight. What we know is this. 60,000 years ago, someone thought it was worth the effort to make an instrument, to take a bone and carefully, deliberately, turn it into something capable of music. That is not an accident. That is intention. Neanderthals were not alone. Around 40,000 to 43,000 years ago, right around the time Homo sapiens were spreading across Europe, a cave in the Swabian Jura region of southern Germany became something extraordinary. Archaeologists excavating Hohle Fels cave found flutes. Not one. Several. One made from the wing bone of a griffin vulture, with 5 finger holes and a V-shaped mouthpiece, almost perfectly preserved. Others made from mammoth ivory, split lengthwise, hollowed out, rejoined and sealed, carved with care and precision that suggests real craftsmanship. These instruments are 40,000 years old. They were found alongside the earliest figurative sculptures ever discovered, small carved figures, animals and humans, made at almost exactly the same time. Music and art arrived together, not one before the other, together. As if the same cognitive leap that allowed early humans to carve a figurine also unlocked the ability to hear a melody and want to recreate it. Nicholas Conard, the archaeologist who led the Hohle Fels excavations, argued that these finds represented evidence of a fully developed musical culture. Not an experiment, not the first attempt, but a tradition that was already mature when these instruments were buried in the cave floor. Which raises the obvious question, if 40,000 years ago was already a developed musical tradition, when did it actually begin? Here's something worth sitting with. The oldest flutes are 60,000 years old. But music almost certainly didn't start with flutes. Before there were instruments, there was the body. Clapping, stamping, slapping stones together, pounding rhythms into the ground, hitting hollow logs, the human voice itself, humming, singing, calling, chanting. These leave no archaeological trace. You cannot excavate a clap. You cannot carbon date a stamped foot. Which means the real beginning of music is invisible to us. Older than any object we've ever found, stretching back into a past we can only theorize about. Researchers have pointed to one particular clue, the hyoid bone. This small bone sits in the throat and is critical to the kind of fine vocal control needed for singing and complex speech. A Neanderthal hyoid bone dating to 60,000 years ago, the same era as the Divje Babe flute, has been found to have the same structure as a modern human's. The anatomy for music was there. The instrument was already built into the body. And babies know this. Newborns, before language, before culture, before anyone teaches them anything, respond to rhythm. They are calmed by rocking. They track melodic pitch. They will move their bodies to a beat before they can walk. This is not learned. It is wired in, which tells us the connection between the human brain and music is not a cultural accident. It is biological, ancient, deep. Imagine a group of ancient humans, Homo sapiens, somewhere in Africa or Europe, 50,000 years ago. The day has been long, a hunt that worked, food enough for everyone, for now. The fire is high. And then someone starts. Not with an instrument, just a voice, a repeating phrase, the same pattern of tones, over and over with small variations. And something happens. Someone else joins in, then another. Their bodies begin to move together. Not choreographed, not planned, just the natural human response to rhythm when a group hears the same beat. They are synchronized. 30 people breathing together, moving together, making sound together. Not because someone organized it, because the rhythm organized them. Researchers studying this phenomenon have identified something remarkable. When humans synchronize to music, their brains release endorphins, the same neurochemicals released by laughter, by running, by physical touch. The grooming chemical, the one that creates social bonds. Before language was complex enough to negotiate trust between 30 people, music could do it in minutes, without words, just rhythm and bodies moving together. This is what researchers at Harvard, led by Samuel Mayer, and a separate team led by Patrick Savage, argued in a landmark 2021 paper published in Behavioral and Brain Sciences. Music evolved as a technology for social bonding, not a byproduct of intelligence, a tool. One of the most powerful social tools our species ever developed. The groups that could synchronize, that could use rhythm to align 30 people into a single coordinated unit, were more cohesive, more cooperative, better at collective tasks like hunting, defending territory, and surviving the winter. Music didn't emerge because ancient humans had free time and felt creative. It emerged because the groups that had it were harder to destroy. Dance deserves its own moment here, because it wasn't just a side effect of music. Across every human culture ever documented, everyone, without exception, there is dance. Not in most, all, researchers studying hundreds of societies have not found a single one that lacks it. Dance is as universal as language, as universal as fire. The anthropologist Robin Dunbar, the same researcher whose work on social group sizes we explored in the lying video, studied the social effects of synchronized movement specifically. His findings: synchronized group movement produces stronger feelings of social bonding than almost any other shared activity. Stronger than conversation, stronger than shared meals. When bodies move together, something happens in the brain that goes beyond the social. People who dance together report feeling more trust, more affiliation, more willingness to cooperate with each other afterward, even with complete strangers. But dance served another purpose too, a visible one. A group that could dance in perfect synchrony, bodies moving as one, complex patterns held together without breaking, was sending a signal to any observer. We are coordinated. We are unified. We are not a group of 30 individuals. We are something closer to one organism with 30 bodies. That signal mattered. To rival groups watching from a distance, to potential allies, to anyone deciding whether to challenge this group or join them. The better you danced together, the safer you were. Here's the strange and beautiful thing at the end of all of this. Music, rhythm, and dance are the oldest technologies we have that leave almost no trace. No bones, no tools, no walls. Just the invisible mark they left on our biology, in the structure of our throats, in the architecture of our brains, in the reflex of a foot tapping to a beat before the mind even notices. 60,000 years ago, a Neanderthal made a flute from a bare bone and played music in a cave. 40,000 years ago, Homo sapiens were already playing complex melodies on instruments they had spent generations perfecting. And somewhere further back, 100,000 years ago, 200,000 years ago, perhaps further, the first human clapped their hands together in a repeating pattern, and something in the people around them responded. Bodies aligned, endorphins released. 30 individuals became something more like one. That moment, unremarkable, undocumented, gone, may be one of the most important things that ever happened to our species. The next time you tap your foot to a song you didn't choose to think about, or find yourself moving in step with a crowd, or feel something open up in your chest when a melody hits exactly right, you are running software that is older than civilization, older than agriculture, older than writing or wheels or walls. You are doing what humans have always done when they need to feel less alone. If this made you think differently about music, or about us, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people. And if you want more from deep human history, the stories behind who we are and how we got here, subscribe. There's a lot more coming.